Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Christina. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to a Monat emergency video. Yes, it is that serious. No, but in all honesty, this is a video I didn't plan to do this week, but since Monat is going to launch in France, I thought it would be interesting for me to do a dedicated video about the Monat launch in France to warn people to not join this company. And I found online somebody who is considered a leader in Monat, who is speaking together with somebody in her downline about launching in France, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to react to the video and to let people know what they're getting into if they join Monat in France. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to let me know something, please feel free to do so below. So let's get right into this opportunity call where two Monat ladies try to recruit us into their French scam, the French territory that has now launched. Monat announced at their Las Vegas trip in April that they're going to launch in France. Now, the hype was not as overwhelming as it was for a lot of other country territorial launches, but I've seen a couple of people posting here and there trying to entice people to join them in the beautiful country of France. This is a person who is high up in Monat, and she's on a call with her downline, I believe, trying to entice people to join their French business.
How are you guys? This is a very exciting live. I'm just waiting for Sarah to get on. We are going to be breaking down everything about Monat and the new emerging markets, especially France. So if you're considering this business, this is definitely a live to tune into, to save and to share. I think she is coming on.
I will share this, no worries. The live was saved to this person's Instagram, and the title or the caption is Monat France. If you've been wondering what this launch is all about, listen to this live and hear how this business has changed our lives. You can be one of the first to join a brand new market with share opportunities. DM me, France, after you watch it, and we will add you into our pre-launch group chat to get you ready to be one of the first founders in France.
Let me know where you guys are tuning in from.
From Berlin.
Accepted Sarah. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Where are you tuning from? Berlin.
All right, you guys, let's jump right into it. So Sarah and I are here to talk to you a little bit about what is Monat and what it means for it to be coming to a new country, specifically France, which just launched a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago, and we have the official launch happening May 3rd. So what do you want to know before that? Do you want to be ready? Do you want to be prepared? And Sarah has a lot of experience launching a new market, as well as I have a lot of experience launching a new market. It's actually our favorite thing to do. It's so exciting. I always say that I missed out on launching in the US, so every time a single new country has come out, it's super exciting for me. So a little bit about me.
Before she's talking about who she is and gives us a little bit of background on her Monat story, this sounds all very fancy and businesslike, but in reality what she's speaking about here is launching in other countries. The person that is at the bottom of this call is, I believe, located in Australia. So the person has so far only participated in one additional launch, which was in New Zealand. That was the last launch prior to France. It just means that the company is expanding to other countries because the markets that are already existing are saturated and the flow of recruits is not as strong anymore. That sounds weird. And the amount of recruits that you need to keep the business running is probably not being covered fully anymore in the existing countries. So we're not talking about their businesses expanding into other countries. We're talking simply about Monat launching in a new country, which they pretty much do every year. And this year they announced the launch in France rather early. So I would suspect that they probably launched 2 countries this year. It looks like they have to up the speed of launches. So while all of this sounds very fancy and very businesslike, let's just keep that in mind. They try to recruit people from other countries. That's all this is about. The business is Monat. Monat is launching in other territories to open up the market for their products, for their customers, and for their reps. And these people are participating in this, and they try to recruit people and to build a team in those territories as well. That's all it is.
My name is Isabel. I am 27 years old. I'm a mommy to a 7-year-old beautiful boy. He is absolutely my world. And 4.5 years ago, I was 23 years old. I had just graduated nursing school. I was $70,000 in student loan debt. My life was completely different. I didn't do social media. I had 300 followers on my account. So if you're looking at this live right now and you're on a social media account where you've never posted anything, that was me. I had no experience in sales. I always said I was never going to do sales. I didn't know that all of the money was in sales. I went to school for nursing, and my passion and my future mind for myself was I want to help people. I want to help people, at the lowest point or when they need it the most. And I didn't know what the future was going to hold for me. So I went to college. It was actually a very difficult time for me, having a 3-year-old boy that I had to provide for. And he was a baby while I was going to nursing school. So it was really, really difficult. I had to spend a lot of time away from him. And as you guys can imagine, while going to college doesn't pay you. You pay for college. I did a lot of hours, clinical hours for free that I never got paid for experience, as we all know when we go to university. But I needed a job. I had to work while I was going through school. So as you can imagine, to be able to pay my rent and the grocery and my car payment, just everything that was needed, I was working a waitressing job. And that waitressing job required for me to work really late hours, like 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m. So some days my day would go like wake up super early for school, 5, 6 in the morning, go to school, do my exams, study if I had to. It was very difficult. Drop my son off at daycare or at childcare, or maybe sometimes he would stay with his dad or a family member, but he was not with me, which was very painful. And I was doing what I had to do. I went to school, and after that, I was clocking into a job. So I was working as a waitress, had to earn an income somehow. And I would get home very tired, midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, and I would just see my baby like asleep, obviously at that time. And I would just cuddle him, and I would just think to myself like, oh, I don't want to do this again with my next babies. When I have a family in the future, more kids, I want to be there full time and present. I don't want to have to depend on someone else to provide in order for me to do that, because as we know, that can be very hard. So my heart already started to like seek more. It was like, okay, this is not what I want. I've been going to school for the past, I think, 4.5 years it took me to get my bachelor's. And I don't know that I can do a future of this. I want more kids. I want 3 more kids. I want a big family. I want to basically have the life that I have right now, but I didn't know that that was possible back then. So my heart was seeking more. I graduated nursing school. I opened up my Instagram, and an ex-coworker that I used to waitress with was posting about work from Wi-Fi, become a hair influencer, like basically make some money from your phone while promoting these hair products. And I looked at the brand and I was like, oh my God, like I like this. The products looked amazing. And what do I have to do?
And that is your typical MLMer's sob story. What I find very, very typical for Monat specifically is also that a lot of young women who are in their early 20s, who are a mother, who are busy studying, who want to pursue something that is actually helpful to society and to people, that they're being pitched because they're financially vulnerable, and then they're being lured into the Monat business. These talks are supposed to be super inspirational, but all I hear is sad to see that you were preyed on when you were in financial need because you were young, because you were at school, because you worked as a waitress to make money, and because you had to take care of a child. It is not really that effective on me. It is not something I find inspirational. I find it rather sad to see. And that is something specifically with Monat that I have seen a lot. I have a good amount of opportunity calls on my channel, and I've reacted to a good amount of Monat content, and that seems to be a very, very typical normal story. Recruit people when they're at school, recruit people when they're at college and they don't yet know what they want to do. Tell them that they can make more money. They don't have to struggle like this all the time. Pitch them the opportunity and then get them into the company. That is something that specifically in Monat is something I've seen a lot. She says that she was interested to do this from her phone, etc., and that she didn't want to depend on other people to provide for her life. But in a way, you're doing exactly that in Monat, because you cannot make a lot of money in Monat unless you recruit. At the first rank, you can sell products from Monat and you can make a small commission of the products that you sell. But if you want to make the substantial money that people in this call are talking about, then you have to recruit, you have to build a team. The bigger the team, the better. The bigger the team, the more you rise in the ranks. So number one, you're depending on the people that are on your team to pretty much provide for you. And in addition to that, you're on a call where you try to recruit people from France into Monat. So you're also depending on France to pay for your bills.
I opened up my Instagram and an ex-coworker that I used to waitress with was posting about work from Wi-Fi, become a hair influencer, like basically make some money from your phone while promoting these hair products. And I looked at the brand and I was like, oh my God, like I like this. The products looked amazing. And what do I have to do? Like get my products, okay, sold. Like I got my products, started using them. I had no expectations. I had no idea business this industry could do for someone or was going to do for me. I just followed my desire to make an extra income while being home with my son. And as I started to use the products, I started to share them on social media. I wanted to reach as many people as possible and be like, hey, I have this. Just like I saw that live where it was an answer for me. Like I wanted to tell people, hey, like I have these products that you can use. You can love your results and that you can help other people with their results as well as make an income for yourself that could be as big as you want. It was really a no-brainer for me. And not to mention when I first got started here in the US, Monat had already been around for over 4 years. They were already $1 million earners. They were already successful people, you know, and I say that because people always want to be like the first to get started, the first to get started. And even though you're going to be the first to get started in your market, and that's like so amazing, in the other markets that we're in, we are so brand new. Like I came in 4 years after and was able to do so much. So just imagine you signing up today, first day of the market expansion, 4 years later, someone like me comes along, completely kills it, like what that can do for your life and for your life and your business. So started sharing the products. And when I got my first paycheck from my phone, I said to myself, oh my God, like I am never clocking into a job again. Seriously. Like I was home, I was with my son, I was learning everything about sales and marketing. I was loving my hair, I was loving my results, I was loving the community. Like there was nothing not to love. And I was making money. Someone who like had to be away from home all the time and sacrifice time with my family. You guys, I didn't have $1,000 to my name. I spent the last $200 in my bank account to get these products, and I didn't have $1,000 to my name. You imagine like an emergency would have happened. My car broke down. I was literally living paycheck to paycheck, and I know that feeling so well. I don't want that for other people, which is why I'm so passionate about sharing this and about running with it and about really, you know, just going for it. You don't have to be this mega influential person. You just have to be yourself. I had 300 followers when I got started. And if you go on my social media now, you're like, well, yeah, but now you have so much more. Yeah, but that's not how I started. So let me just get to the point of my story and pass it on to Sarah, because there's so much that I can really talk about and that I can mention, but I think that it's really important to get over first the person that you think that you need to be so that you can be successful in this business. Because if you would have looked at me when I first said yes to Monat, you would have said, oh, there's no way she can sell me. And that's what I said about myself. I was like, there's no way. But these products, you use them, you share them, just like you would a movie or your favorite makeup, or it just comes so naturally. It's such a genuine business opportunity that people can pick up on, the right people will pick up on. So 3 months into Monat, I was tripling a nursing income, which meant that I was earning, kid you not, you guys, over $12,000 a month, 3 months into this business. And I had never earned that kind of money. So that same month, I took my son to a dream trip to Disney World, and I said, oh my God, I don't have to clock in. I'm with my son, I'm getting paid. I'm using products that I love. Like, my mind was just absolutely blown, which has fueled my desire to share this so much more. So I went all in. I decided to not work my nursing career. So earned, some more money, paid off the $70,000 in student loan debt that I had cash as a student. Nobody really gets to say that. Student loans, especially here in America, they are a big toll on you. I was able to pay them off cash, and I was like, I'll take those years off as experience. I learned so much. It showed me the path that it wasn't for me. Now I'm doing something that I love, and I'm going to go all in for it. And imagine how sure I have to be about what I do to give up my career that is supposed to be like always there, right? And especially as a new nurse, you don't go get a job when you first get out of university. It's really hard to find work later. So I gave up my nursing job, and I obviously made the right choice. You guys, I mean, I don't like to talk too much about money on here. I don't think that it's like this thing that we should be talking about, but I think that it's really important for people to know how much you can actually earn.
For somebody who doesn't like to talk much about money, there was already an income claim there, which according to Monat's own guidelines, you cannot do to share how much money you're making, but I guess you have to do that to make this sound so much more enticing. Monat is not you helping people. I find it very sad to hear that somebody is quitting their nursing job or stopping their studies to not pursue nursing, but then they go to Monat and they believe that they will do good for other people. No. You're not a charitable person. You're not helping other people. You're very likely going to screw people over if you invite them into Monat. Because the majority of people in Monat make little to no money, and their expenses very likely exceed the money they make. We'll go through income disclosure statements because others are not available, surprise, at the end of the video, to give you a comparison and also to give some more perspective on why this call and why this launch in France is important to already existing territories and also to people who are in the United States, but not necessarily in the other countries. You are not helping other people. You should have stayed at nursing. That's where you can actually help people. The reason, she said it herself, why she switched was because she was able to make money in Monat. In my opinion, a scam that worked for her. Not because she wants to help people. This is purely about money, and she found a way to make money in Monat. You joining Monat now, 9, almost 10 years down the line, is not going to be like her joining Monat 4 years in. Monat is not a young company. When it comes to MLMs or MLM years, they're like dog years. Monat at this point is oversaturated. That is why they have to launch in other countries every year. And it looks like they're upping the speed of doing so. Monat is oversaturated. At this point, Monat has been outed for their scammy business practices, for the unethical people that pitch this opportunity while instilling false hope in people. And that is why Monat is a dinosaur. People are leaving Monat. Last year alone, tens of thousands of people allegedly have left the company. There is no data available at the moment how many people have left this year.
I don't like to talk too much about money on here. I don't think that it's like this thing that we should be talking about, but I think that it's really important for people to know how much you can actually earn. Even though everybody doesn't earn the same amount, the possibility of knowing that you can earn that much is there. So for me, a couple months after that, so I was in Monat already for like a year, I had earned over $1 million in commissions in US dollars. And obviously what that did for me was it changed my life forever. Like, I was able to get my dream place, my dream car. I was able to retire my mom. I was able to travel to like a gajillion places. I was able to work on myself, have time with my family. I mean, what can an income like that do for you? What could 5,000, 10,000, what could any extra amount of money do for you by using products that you love? and that you genuinely want to share. And obviously the products are incredible.
But you don't make money because you just share products you love. If she was able to make $1 million in commissions over the lifetime of her being in Monat, meaning she's in the MDC, in the $1 million club, that means that she has a team. She must recruit. You must recruit in Monat if you want to be able to make that substantial amount of money. You're not doing that because you share the products that you love so much. You must recruit. And you must build a big downline. Also, to give you a perspective, we will take a look at the income disclosure statement at the end, because then that opportunity won't sound that fly anymore. At the moment, there are around 80 people who are in the MDC. For a company that has over 300,000 consultants in the US alone, that is laughable. 80 out of over 300,000 consultants. That is the actual perspective I would like you to keep in mind. It is highly, highly, highly unlikely for you to ever make that much money.
But the income opportunity that it comes with being in a brand new market, or even in this market here in the US, there's 300 million people, and less than 0.01% of them are in Monat. Like, can you imagine when it's actually a household name? Like, Monat already has nearly $100 million, which means it's not just me. It's not just me coming in here and being successful. And you guys can hear me talk right now, and you can see me, and you can see, like, I'm nothing special. I'm not like this person that is great at sales, or like I don't know, like, I didn't have an advantage. I just saw the opportunity, believed in myself, ran with it, and helped other people just do the same thing. And that's the same opportunity that you have right now. So I'm going to pass it over to Sarah.
You might not be a great salesperson, but you have to be a good salesperson to be successful in this business. Because on the surface, you have to pretend that you're selling the actual product, but what you're selling in reality is an opportunity that will not become reality for the majority of people in the company. She was a nurse, she was a mom, she was a human, she was a whatever you were not a trained salesperson, but you had to sell this opportunity to other people. That just means that you were able to make this work for you. It's a scam, in my opinion, and a scam only works if some people are able to make some money and can show this. These people are being presented around like tokens. And she said it. I mean, she said 100 people that are in the MDC, the $1 million club, out of over 300,000 consultants in the US alone. Do you have any idea, with Monat being now, 9, almost 10 years old, how many people in the United States alone have received this pitch? Come join my team, get the products, etc. There might be lots and lots of millions of people living in the United States, but you cannot pitch it to certain people. The elderly are excluded, the ones that are under 18, the ones that don't support an MLM, the ones that were in Monat and left, the ones that are not fine with the product because there are lots of lawsuits out there because Monat products allegedly make people's hair fall out, get frizzy, get weird, and things like that. There are still ongoing lawsuits, and Monat at this point has a stigma attached to its name. So if you Google Monat Global or Monat Job or Business Opportunity, you will run across a lot of content of people in the anti-MLM community to warn you about joining Monat, who are giving critical feedback and critical comment, and who are putting these types of pitches into perspective by presenting factual information and giving an opposing opinion. So you being in the United States, you being in Canada, you being in the UK, Lithuania, Poland, Ireland, Spain, Australia, New Zealand, I think those are all the territories, and then of course France, doesn't mean that you have a great market to pitch to. The World Wide Web is already letting people know that Monat is such a stupid company, that there is already market saturation, even at a point when you haven't even really launched in a country yet. And what I mean by that is that people in France also have access to the internet. Look up Monat Global, take a look at the content available from the company, but also from people critical of the company, and they will very likely not join you when they see, okay, this seems to be a sketchy business, let me do my own research and then take a look. It's not that easy anymore. No.
So that she can share her story, and then Sarah, maybe you can go into like the specifics of getting started and all that stuff.
Yes, awesome. So, hi guys. I'm based in Sydney, Australia, and I'm so excited about the opportunity for those in France to hear about this and be at the forefront of this launch because, starting a new market has absolutely changed my life. So, I guess just to give some context around my story, I started my career by, following the path of going to university, studying really hard, getting a uni debt. Starting out my career with a huge debt, a student debt behind my name. And I did the work experience. I built my way up in my corporate career. And, I worked as a TV casting producer for a long, long time. And I got to a point in my career where I really started to get the Sunday night blues. It was like I loved my job and, I loved the people and what I was doing. But I was like, it just felt like something was missing. Like I started to get a little bit of an anxiety of the Sunday night. I had moments where I was in the office on a random Wednesday thinking it's a sunny day and I want to be at the beach, or, I'd get to the end of the week and I'd have more, time than I had money, even though I was working full time. And so a real pain point for me was like, okay, I have the rest of my life to work and to be, behind four walls essentially. And, this kind of consistent struggle with living paycheck to paycheck, even though all of my time was spent in my full-time job. And I had many moments as I was getting closer to 30 where I was like, how am I going to afford a home? How am I going to clear the student debt? How am I going to, have a wedding and have children and be a present mom and all the things that come up with, what we need to think about as an adult. And there were so many times I would kind of go to the checkout when I was shopping and I'd tap my card and it would decline, or I'd have to transfer money between accounts. I was constantly doing that, kind of not looking at my financial situation because I was just really scared and I didn't know that there was another way. And so, yeah, just kind of went along like that for a good couple of years before I finally felt like I needed to do something. I needed to change the situation. And again, loving my job, loving my career, it was just like, how can we have so many, expenses going out of our accounts and only one income coming in? And so I saw on Instagram that there was this brand that just looked so like too good to be true, so incredible. The values, the travel opportunities, the car program, the community. There was just so much I was watching and watching and watching and watching. And then there was the opportunity for this to launch in Australia. And I remember thinking this is going to change everything, not only for me, but for my family. And I jumped straight in with two hands, started to share the products, as Isa was saying, the simplicity of this in not only just improving my hair and trying the best products, but being able to share that with people. That is the simplicity of what we do. And so I jumped all in and I got really excited because, again, the values of the company, the values of the brand just spoke so much to me, and we'll get into this. But it was just a couple of months ago where I had this really 360 moment where I just felt so incredibly grateful for the fact that not only have I been on 3 international trips with this brand, 3 international trips, one to the Bahamas, one to Mexico, just for example, but I've also qualified for the Motor Club program and have a Range Rover parked out the front of my house, and I've earned founding shares with a $1 billion beauty brand. And often when I'm saying this to people, they're like, what on earth? I've had a career with a company for many years in my corporate space, never offered the opportunity to have willable shares that I can pass on to my future family, never, a car program where I can drive my dream car, and never a holiday where I can, be completely spoiled, picked up and taken to the airport and on my way. And it was in that moment that it was just like, the gift of this is so wild. Not only has it changed my life in a financial perspective and that feeling of flexibility and time freedom where, you can choose your offers, you can choose where you work, all of those bits.
And that is your typical normal job shaming. For the majority of people who join Monat, this will not be a reality. For the majority of people who join Monat in France, you will not become a founder, although you're the first people to tap into that market. For the majority of people, you will not be able to participate on the trips, and you will not be able to participate in the car program, because the majority of people in Monat lose money. While I understand that if you have a regular job or stuff going on in your life, that sometimes you might be at a point where you think, I have a feeling that something in my life is missing, I don't think that you joining a multi-level marketing company is going to help you. If you're looking for something, if you're searching for something, if you're searching for a side income, if you're searching for a community of people, if you're searching for an actual opportunity to do something in your life that will change your life or that will add certain value to your life, joining a multi-level marketing company will very likely do the opposite. Once again, the majority of people in Monat spend money on Monat. They spend money to join the company so that they're able to sell the products and to recruit people, and will not make the money back. The majority of people in Monat make little to no money and spend more money on the starter pack and on joining the company than they're able to make in return.
But the opportunity to really make an impact in other people's lives, to have multiple Range Rovers in Australia on the road and as a company, across the globe.
Oh, come on. You're not doing this though because you want to help other people in Australia drive a Range Rover. What kind of a flex is that? If you're able to participate in the car program, I have an entire deep dive on the MLM Motor Club, which in itself is a scam. Then you are able to hit one of the middle ranks, not the top ranks, the middle ranks. Car is in your name, and you will very likely end up with a payment of the car on your own because you need to hit a certain rank, you need to keep that rank, and then you're eligible for a certain amount of money towards the down payment of the car that may or may not. We're talking about a luxury car here, so it will very likely not cover the cost of that. And then you're also eligible for monthly payments that also may or may not cover the payment of that. You're doing this because you want to make money. That is why you are in Monat. And to help other people also drive Range Rovers on the streets of Australia just means that you recruit people, and these people are also able to recruit a certain amount of people to then rank up to also participate in the sketchy program. By the way, if you are in Monat, really consider if you want to participate in the Monat Motor Club, because you will very likely be stuck with a lot of car payments for a luxury car that the majority of people cannot afford at that rank. Just putting it out there.
To have multiple people picking up founding shares, multiple people just changing their life. I've never been more excited for something like this. And I think when it's looking back at where I was really scared and I was really concerned about my future, and I didn't know there was another way, and I didn't think something like this was possible. And maybe when I did look at it, I thought it was too good to be true. And maybe you're listening to this thinking the same thing, but it was breaking it down to see how simple this is, and truly to be able to work with the best products on the market, a brand that has revolutionized the anti-aging hair care and skincare space. It's products that I guess are so innovative, and I had heard of every, anti-aging skincare serum and ingredient, but I'd never heard of that for hair. Mm-hmm. So not only being on this hair journey and experiencing a transformation, but being able to be, in a billion-dollar brand in a billion-dollar industry, putting my business hat on, it just made so much sense to jump in on this. And so that is why I'm so excited, why we're so excited to be launching this into another brand new market, because one, the opportunity for founding shares is there. And this opportunity is something that is so wild, to be able to be a shareholder in a brand that turns over what they do, that have the customers that they do, is worth what it is. I know those US shares are life-changing, the Australian ones are already life-changing, and it, something that continues to grow. But in terms of getting started and it being so simple, to just start by upgrading your hair care, skincare products. You literally just have the opportunity to get rid of products that are toxic and switch to a naturally based line and try the products out for yourself. So we've got different product packs that you can start on. They've obviously got an amazing saving on retail profit. But that is, how we got started, how everyone gets started when they come. And I think it's amazing to see the results for yourself and obviously experience why we love the products. And having something so simple like that, where you can try the products yourself and be able to share them with people. Again, it's really, really simple. And a lot of the time I have these pinch me moments where it's like, how can I make, to being able to make a full-time income, through the business, behind a screen at home in the comfort of my own home, but just from simply working with products that are next level. And I know, Izzy, you might want to maybe touch on some of the facts around the products, but I guess that's a bit about my story.
Thank you for sharing. Yes, I want to make sure that you guys have all the information in this live as well. We're going to save it so that you can forward it and you can share it with anyone that you think that this could be a good for. And
like I said, I will for sure share it. That pitch also goes into a certain direction that I find very, very good. Because she's pretty much admitting to being the customer. And that is something I believe if you consider joining Monat in France, that is something you will have to keep in mind. You will be spending a good amount of products, not just on the starter pack, but also as you go along, because that is how Monat makes their money. By recruiting people into a system and then having those people spend a lot of money on products as you go along. Because you need to be a product of the product. You need to purchase the products to display them to people in person or on your social media. How can you pitch something to somebody if you yourself haven't tried the products? If you are not a witness to this amazing hair care and skin care regimen that Monat can provide to you? You will be the primary customer if you join Monat, whether that is in France or Australia or the US. Make sure that you keep an eye on your finances, that you exactly list that, because I would argue if people actually did that and understood that, they would be out of the company just as quickly as they joined, because the business is not profitable for the majority of reps.
Whoever listens to this to have all of the information. So when it comes to the products are absolutely incredible. So they're backed by a scientific advisory board, which means that we have world-renowned dermatologists, trichologists. We have our own labs where we are checking for the brand new technology on anti-aging of the hair. Like, they are really revolutionary when it comes to results. They're vegan, they're cruelty free. We have been published in many, many publications like Vogue, Allure magazine, like just everywhere really that shares beauty products.
There's no third-party company that was able to prove those claims. The scientific advisory board is a bunch of people that Monat pays so that they tell you the products are amazing. That's what this is. I mentioned the lawsuits before. Monat reps don't like that. There's still lots of lawsuits against Monat that are still ongoing. Monat has settled a lot of these. Monat has not won one single of these lawsuits when former customers and consultants claim that Monat products damage their scalp and their hair. Let's keep that in mind. Outside sources do not provide that information. It only comes from within the company, from the people that want you to join the company and to purchase the product.
And these publications are there because the products are so absolutely incredible. But what decides it for you is going to be your own personal results. So when you start using them, you are going to see your own results. You're naturally going to want to share them with other people. So something else that was really important for me when it came to partnering with a business like this is we have no monthly inventory, which means you don't have to buy products monthly in order to get paid. Okay, you buy your product pack one time at an insanely low amount that you cannot start a business for, and that product pack that you get is tied to you, to your market partner, your ID basically. It's unique to you and your website. And through that website, which by the way is free, websites cost thousands of dollars to create. This website is free.
First of all, you're not starting your own business when you join Monat, so you cannot compare you starting an actual business to you joining a multi-level marketing company. Number two, you will spend a lot of money on products. While it is not written in Monat's terms and conditions that you yourself have to spend a certain amount every month to be considered active, you can be sure that you will spend a lot of money on the products. It starts with a starter pack, $199 for the lowest one with products, and then you will be enticed to purchase more products as you go along. Monat also has a personal volume, a PV requirement, which can be covered by selling the products and by purchasing them yourself. So half of your PV requirements, according to the ranks that you hit, can be covered by you purchasing the products. And you will very likely have people in the company that try to inspire you to purchase more products besides the starter kit. Just because you have a link where people can buy from doesn't mean that you won't end up with a lot of overpriced Monat products in your home. We have seen this over and over and over again. If you cannot cover your personal volume requirement, you can just purchase half of it. Great. You can also open up a ghost account. Not saying that these two people have done this, but that is something that people who left multi-level marketing companies, including Monat, have said as well. I was encouraged to set up a second account so that I could pretend that I had other customers who would cover certain costs. You also have to spend money on the products as you go along because you love them so much, because you display them. You also have to spend a lot of money on new products coming out, because how are you going to sell these if you haven't tried them yourselves and if you cannot show them? Just because you don't need to purchase the products from Monat to sell those to customers doesn't mean that you will not spend a lot of money. You will spend a lot of money on Monat products when you join Monat.
You can make as many orders, so 10, 20, 100, 1,000 orders through that link without ever having to buy products again. So you can just buy your products, make 1,000 orders, and you don't have to be buying products in order to get paid, which was something that was really important to me, just in case some months I wanted to, I don't know, maybe take some time off. I didn't want to have like that commitment of having to purchase products all the time. So no contracts, no commitments, no inventory. You guys, I know it sounds too good to be true, but that's because it actually is.
No commitment though. Let me just give a quick information there. If you want to make substantial money in Monat, you need to recruit and you need to hit the higher ranks. There is lots of commitment happening there if you take a look at the compensation plan. You need to recruit a certain amount of people, have a certain amount of monthly PV, group volume. You need to have people on your team who themselves also have to hit and hold certain ranks so that you can continue to make money. That's a lot you have to commit every single month, because at the next month and the next month and the next month, all of your results from the month before will be wiped clean and you will have to start over again. And those are monthly requirements that you have to hit over and over and over again. It sounds scary to me, not a great opportunity.
You get your own products with your website and you do as much like we have with it or as little like many other people have done with it on your own time, on your own schedule, and you can run with this as much as you want. So I think that that's pretty much, just going to add one more thing that I think is really important. As the future has been changing and as times have been changing, I think that we have realized that direct selling, which is what we do, and generally recommending products to someone, it's becoming more and more of a thing with companies that you would never think that would partner up with regular people like me and you. And it's becoming more of a thing because we realize that as consumers, we want to get things recommended by people that we know and we trust and that, want the best for us. And I think that in the past, people have really gotten turned off by like these big influencer posts that are like, try this tea, try these supplements that they've never used, that they've never, they're just like this new thing that they're sharing just for money. Here, we actually have been using these products. I've been using them for 4.5 years. Sarah as well, very long time. And we get to talk to you about something that we love and we use genuinely like every single day. And it might be for you, it might not be for you. That's totally okay. But the reason why we share it and the reason we've been able to have so much success in sharing it is because we genuinely love it.
And that is this fake influencer narrative. You are not an influencer when you join Monat, and you're not partnering with Monat. You have to purchase your way into the company. You will very likely spend a lot of money on the products as you go along, so that you can promote the products and most importantly, the business opportunity. You cannot compare somebody who actually makes money by working online in the content creator and influencer world to somebody who joins a multi-level marketing company. Completely different worlds. MLMs depend on those ordinary people that you mentioned to join the company, spend a lot of money, and then put up this influencer-like facade. You're not an influencer and you're not partnering with Monat when you join the company. Not comparable whatsoever. And just to be very clear again, these two women, as lovely as they might seem and as genuine as they might come across, they're not just on this call trying to pitch this to you because they genuinely want you to do well and they genuinely want you to help in your own life. They want to pitch you something. This is a business pitch. We're launching in France. Come and join our teams. And by the way, if you're in any of the other territories, please also join us. They want to make money. This is not just me genuinely sharing what I love. You want to recruit and you want to sell. That is why we're on a call that says, Monat France, if you're wondering, blah, blah, blah. No, you want to sell us something. It's a business pitch.
And you will genuinely love it when you start using them, and you will want to share them. So I think that that's really important to consider, noting that in the future, more brands are partnering with this type of concept that is direct to consumer, that is being genuine, that is using products that you actually have results with and that you are being genuine with. And with the economy the way that it is and with the times that we are having right now, it is such a need. It is a need more than ever, in my opinion, to have an extra source of income and to be able to have that extra source of income from your home and from the park and while traveling, while earning a paid for car, while earning,
Nobody
trips by
needs
using
Monat
and
except for the
recommending
people
products
that
you
are in
love.
the
And you're
company.
going to learn everything that you need to know from us about marketing, about social media, about just how we've been able to build our business.
Also not earning a paid for car. Monat might or might not pay you a certain amount of money towards the payment. The car is in your name and you're paying for it. Stop it.
And all that training is free. So that's a whole nother side of it, the community, the trainings. So I think that I remember me back then, 5 years ago, I would be home and I would be like, what can I sell?
How's the quality of that training though, if you have people who have no idea about actual sales, who are not sales professionals, who are not hair care or skincare professionals? That's number one. Number two, it's not free. You have to pay to enter the company, and then the people that have recruited you are expected to train you. It's not free. You will have to spend at least $99 US if you start with the lowest non-product pack, or at least $199 if you use the product pack that is the least pricey, where you have actual products. That is not free. You spend money to get those. And then the quality of these are questionable, very questionable.
Like, what can I do? Let me sell some clothes. Let me sell some shoes. Like, how can I get an extra side hustle? I didn't know about Monat. I didn't know that this existed. And if this is something that you're hearing about for the first time and you are, just seeing it from us, maybe think about why you're seeing it now and why you're open to receiving it now and why you're open to hearing about it now. Because when it got to me, it was the perfect time for me to see it, for me to run with it, and it completely changed my life. Look through both of our Instagrams, you can see everything that it has done for us. And yeah, I think that that's pretty much all we wanted to say. I know that we're both very excited with new market expansions. We just had the very first founder in New Zealand on our team, which means we have tons of experience when it comes to launching a new market. And we're really excited to. France is huge. France, it's the second biggest market in direct sales. There's so many people over there that are waiting for an opportunity to earn while being beautiful and using products that they love and like with style. And there's just so much opportunity with this, you guys. So I hope that if you hear this and if it resonates with you or someone sent it to you, share it with someone that you think that this could be a good fit for, because it can absolutely change their life just like it changed ours. So thank you, Sarah, for getting on. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone.
And I'm here to tell you, if you are in France, please do your research and do not join Monat, because the likelihood of you making money are slim to none. I do believe that Monat is expanding to other countries because it is necessary. Not because they're opening themselves up to other territories, but because the markets that they're in are very likely either not going well or are already saturated or are on their way to being saturated. Opening up in other countries will not do much for the people in those countries. ranks. As is typical for all MLMs, only very few people are able to make good money in a multi-level marketing company, while the vast majority of people have to spend a lot of money so that the people who are at the top can make money. In addition to that, I've put this thesis out before, and I'm going to repeat it here as well. What the launch in France does, what the launch in New Zealand did, what the launch in Australia did was just to feed, first and foremost, Monat's US business. Monat is live in a couple of countries now, but the first one was the United States and Canada. When you hear about the rags to riches story of people, when people are being paraded around at conferences, mostly US reps are the ones that are being shown there. And why is that? Because they're the ones who were able to join first. They're able to profit off of the original market, and then they're venturing out into the other markets to profit off of these people. Monat now is live in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, in Ireland, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Spain, in Poland, Lithuania, and now also in France. The last launch was in New Zealand. That's not more than a year ago. I mean, she said we have one founder. One? Wow, that's not really a lot. All of the other countries have been active for over a year. Yet what is not available for these countries are income disclosure statements, where the company, Monat, shows us how much money the individual ranks and the distributors can make when they are able to hit certain ranks. There are only 2 income disclosure statements available that I was able to find. That was in the United States and Canada. If Monat is doing that well, why don't we have the income disclosure statements from all of the other territories? It would be a great marketing tool also for the representatives to display this. Look at our great opportunity. That is what we're doing. That is what other territories are doing. And there's this myth and this rumor that people in other countries are not doing that well, but we have the income disclosure statements to prove that that is different. But that is not available. I find that very interesting and rather sketchy. Why is there no income disclosure statement from Ireland, UK? They've been on the market a long time as well. In Europe, Spain and Poland have been active for a good amount of time. So is Lithuania. Where are those income disclosure statements? That is why I found it interesting to take a look at the 2 ones that are available, United States and Canada, just quickly to wrap this up, to make people aware that joining Monat is not a good option. I have to pull up my glasses for this yet again because the writing on the wall is too small. The income disclosure statement in the United States is the lengthiest one because it has lots of information. You have the different ranks there, like market partner with a median annual gross earnings of $21, managing market partner with $1,700. Then you have the associate market builder with $3,700 at median annual gross earnings. And that is the majority of people in the United States in the year of 2021. Then you can see that the amount of people at those individual ranks are getting slim to none. 0.4% at the market builder rank, 0 point something at the other rank, 0 point something, 0 point something. Okay, the numbers are not getting better. The people that are at the top of the compensation plan in the United States, let's focus on the directors. The AED, the Associate Executive Director, makes a median gross earnings annually of $152,000. The Executive Director, ED, $381,000 median annual gross earnings. The Senior Executive Director, $1,100,000 median annual gross earnings. Let's compare that to the second market that has an income disclosure statement available. That is the Canadian income disclosure statement from 2021. And what we can see here is that, first and foremost, what we can see here is that there are less columns. There's less information available. And Monat doesn't give us a median annual gross earnings, but an average monthly gross earnings. So this is looking a lot different than the original one from the United States. Why not display it the same way? But okay. In addition to that, the 2 lowest ranks are also being combined. The market partner and the managing market partner. It is the same picture as it is in the US. The majority of people are at the bottom ranks, and then very, very few people are able to hit the higher ranks. The average monthly gross earnings in Canada for the two lowest ranks is $22 Canadian. That is 264 Canadian dollars annually for the two lowest ranks. We're not even getting the market partner individually, and that tells me that the income there is probably even worse and even more abysmal. That is why we're combining these two. The second rank in the US made about $1,600 annually. And here we're combining these two and we're having 264 Canadian dollars for both. Of course, the people who are at the top, they're far and few, and the people that are at the top are making more money than the people at the bottom. The associate executive director makes 20,000 Canadian dollars, the executive director $33,000, and the senior executive directors 70,000 average gross earnings. I find it sketchy that in the other territories income disclosure statements are not available. In my opinion, that is because they're probably worse than the ones that are out from the US and from Canada. And they're not good in any way, shape, or form. The majority of people are at the bottom ranks and make hardly any money, and their expenses very likely exceed what they make in return. This was your typical Monat pitch, I believe, not even very specific to France. And let me finish this maybe by commenting on the founder's share. That is something that people in Monat will try to make sound so interesting, although in my opinion it is not. You are able to participate in the founder's share in your territory when you're able to hit a certain rank within a certain amount of time. Within the very first either 6 months or year, you have to hit a rank that the majority of people, according to their very own income disclosure statement, are not able to hit. You need to keep that rank, and then you're eligible to participate in a certain amount of the revenue share within your country. That is highly unlikely for anyone to happen. In autumn, they have launched in New Zealand almost a year ago, and they have one founder, one person who was able to hit that rank. In addition to that, you also need to keep that rank. So if you drop in the ranks, the money will be gone. The likelihood of you making extra money on a quarterly basis, if you're eligible for the founder's share, are slim to none, as is the income potential in general. I'm doing this video and I'm uploading it on this very day because this is when Monat is opening their French market to people. Be careful about this. If you're interested in this type of industry and you are in France, please take a look at the documentation, take a look at people advising on not to join Monat, like myself. I think if you take an actual look at the income abilities, how likely it is that you will make money in Monat, doesn't sound that attractive anymore. The majority of people are not able to participate in the trips and in the car program, and the majority of people are at the very first rank. They make $21 median gross annual earnings according to the US 2021 income disclosure statement. If you purchase the starter package, you've already lost money. In my opinion, Monat is a scam. In my opinion, Monat is not a great opportunity, but Monat allows their representatives and probably has also taught them to prey on vulnerable people who are looking at something that they're missing in their lives. Financial struggles, being a single parent, being inexperienced, not knowing where to go with your life, maybe having to take care of children and you don't know what to financially do to support your own family. In that case, Monat will very likely not be your answer, because Monat will not necessarily become an extra stream of income, but an extra stream of expenses. The majority of people who join Monat will lose money, and their income disclosure statement proves it. So that is my conclusion. Don't join Monat. Don't join Monat in France. Greetings to my neighbors. Please don't join. It will very likely put you into a worse situation than you were before. People preying on your vulnerabilities, that is essentially what Monat reps are now doing, trying to recruit you and trying to sell you their overpriced products. That is my conclusion. Don't join Monat, and I hope that France gives Monat the middle finger. If you like these types of videos, please consider subscribing, giving me a thumbs up. If you would like to let me know something, please feel free to do so in the comments section down below. And if you like these types of videos, then hopefully I will see you soon in my next video. Until then, tschüss!